Dear learners, welcome back to Life Mentor Academy Best Notes. Today we are diving into one of the most inspiring and thought-provoking essays, Life and Learning by George Bernard Shaw. Discover how real education begins after school and why Shaw believed life itself is the greatest classroom. Dear learners, let's explore the true meaning of learning beyond exams. So, first of all, I'm going to explore the summary of the chapter. The passage is saying that after we finish school, we enter the bigger school of life where we continue to learn and face new challenges. The basic skills we learned in school, like reading and math, are useful, but many of the other things we learned in school don't necessarily help us grow up or succeed in life. Even in our working life, even in our working life, we still have routines and exams to deal with, and sometimes we have to give answers that may not be entirely correct just to please the older people evaluating us. This skill of giving the right answers, even if it's not true, can be learned from a crammer, which is someone or something that helps us prepare for exams quickly. The passage suggests that learning new scientific truths and having experiences may not necessarily help us pass exams. Instead, it claims that relying on the Bible and accepted scientific facts from several decades ago is more likely to help us pass exams and succeed in our chosen routine or career. However, the real beginning of life happens after we successfully navigate these exams because there are important basics of life like reading, eating, drinking, and sleeping that are not taught in school or college. The passage also mentions that the classics, which are old and well known works of literature, remain important because they are written in languages that are no longer spoken. It emphasizes that each person, whether they are a student or an adult, is an individual and needs individual attention, which is something that is difficult to get in school. Finally, it suggests that our achievements in school do not necessarily guarantee success in life, as there are many other things to learn outside of school. Dear learners, now I'm going to explore textual questions and answers, related questions and answers. So, question number one, comprehension related questions and answers, and state whether the following sentences are true or false related questions and answers, right? From comprehension. So, question number one, the hardest part of schooling according to Shaw is the early part. The answer is true. Number two, school life is always irksome. The answer is true. Number three, there was a time when German books were not divided into rights and lefts. The answer is true. Number four, the scholar who knows everything exists. The answer is false. Number five, Shaw forgets everybody 5 minutes after they have been introduced to him. The answer is true. Dear learners, now answer these questions in one sentence, related questions and answers. Question number one, what is Shaw's interesting opinion on routine? The answer is Shaw thinks that even though routines are supposed to work well for everyone, actually they suit nobody. Question number two, why were English people going to live in Germany astonished? The answer is English people going to live in Germany were astonished because the Germans did not have their books divided into lefts and rights. Question number three, why is Da Vinci's notebook considered funny? The answer is Da Vinci's notebook is considered funny because people during his time did not accept or take seriously his thoughts and views. Question number four, why does Shaw call himself an educated man? The answer is Shaw considers himself an educated man because he has been able to make a living by doing work that requires a high level of education. Question number five, why didn't the governess teach Shaw the table of logarithms and the binomial theorem? The answer is the governess didn't teach Shaw the table of logarithms and the binomial theorem because she herself didn't know or understand them and did not have knowledge or expertise in them. Dear learners, and now answer these questions in 2 or 3 sentences, related questions and answers. So, question number one, why does the author say that the hardest part of schooling is the early part? The answer is, according to the author, the most difficult part of going to school is when children are first taught how to read, write, and compute. The author believes that is a a remarkable achievement because we don't remember being taught these things. It's strange that we tend to remember things we learn when we are young, but as we get older, it becomes harder to remember new things. Question number two: how can a crammer find out what questions are going to be asked? The answer is a crammer is someone who prepare for an exam by studying previous exam papers. Even though they don't have access to the actual questions in advance, they can still figure out what questions are likely to be asked by looking at the patterns in the old exam papers. By studying these papers repeatedly, they become familiar with the questions that examiners tend to ask repeatedly, right? Now, question number three: why does show say that once the students are safely through their examinations, they will discover their education to be defective? The answer is show suggests that after students finish their exams successfully, they may realize that their education is lacking because they haven't been taught important and basic life skills. They might find themselves completely unprepared when it comes to activities like eating, drinking, breathing, and sleeping. Question number four: who is a savage or an ignoramus according to Shaw? The answer is the author. Shaw admits that he lacked knowledge about great musicians and painters because he wasn't taught about them in school. He refers to himself as a savage and an ignoramus, suggesting that he considered himself lacking in cultural education compared to others who had learned about these artists in school. Question number five: why does Shaw think he has not grown up yet? The answer is Shaw believes that he hasn't fully matured or become an adult yet because he is constantly discovering new things and his learning journey is not complete. He sees life as a never ending school that presents him with new and exciting challenges to learn from. Dear learners, now answer these questions briefly in your own words, related questions and answers. So, question number one: why does Shaw say that to do well in an exam you must go to a crammer? The answer is Shaw suggests that if someone wants to do well in an exam, they should consider going to a crammer because it helps students prepare for exams, and even though they don't have access to the actual exam questions in advance, they can figure out which questions are likely to be asked by studying previous exam papers, by familiarizing themselves with the questions that examiners tend to repeat. The crammer can help the student be well prepared for the exam. Question number two: school to me was a sentence of penal servitude. Explain. The answer is Shaw expresses that school felt like a punishment to him because he had an artistic nature. While he could easily understand and appreciate masterpieces of literature, poetry, and history, but he struggled to connect with textbooks because they were written by individuals who lacked the skill of engaging writing. Question number three: how does Shaw argue that a routine is supposed to suit everybody, suits nobody? The answer is Shaw contends that a routine which is designed to be suitable for everyone actually fails to meet the needs of individuals. He argues that each person is unique and requires individualized attention, which is not possible within the confines of school and other structured routines. To support his argument, Shaw gives an example of German boards that were not divided into left and right. This example illustrates how everyone has distinct needs that cannot be adequately addressed by a uniform routine. Question number four: explain why it is dangerous to give up-to-date answers in examinations. The answer is Shaw says it is dangerous to give up-to-date answers in examinations because the people conducting these examinations are old people with old knowledge and concepts which they think are eternally right. They do not take into account recent developments in the field of knowledge. Shaw gives examples of Copernicus and Da Vinci's views, which, although established as true, now were considered false in the time. Dear learners, now answers these questions in detail, related questions and answers. Shaw had a reputation for holding radical views and opinions, and Life and Learning is an excellent example of it. Which views of Shaw do you agree with and why? The answer is I completely agree with everything Shaw expresses in this essay because it all makes a lot of sense. Many of us share the view that school life can be frustrating and what routines really suit everyone. We can relate to the idea that learning during childhood is both difficult and effortless. As we often don't remember being taught certain things, shows perspective that the fundamental skills we learn in school, like reading and basic math, are always useful and relatively easy, while the rest taught through monotonous routines doesn't contribute much to our growth is sensible. Life itself is like a large school with new challenges which align with our own experiences. I can relate to his criticism of stubborn old teachers who resist new ideas and his observation that textbooks are often poorly written by individuals lacking writing skills. Question number two, suggest some steps to improve the quality of education, school education in your state or region. The answer is our school education system primarily relies on modernization, which does not provide genuine knowledge. Instead, we should focus on delivering practical and valuable education that truly benefit children. Shows viewpoints throughout the essay can serve as guidelines or for enhancing the quality of education in schools by shifting the emphasis towards education that meets real life needs rather than overwhelming students with theories and irrelevant facts. We can improve the learning experience and make it more meaningful for students. Dear learners, now additional important related questions and answers. So first of all, true or false related questions and answers. Question number one: the hardest part of schooling is the early part. The answer is true. Number two, school life is always difficult. The answer is true. Number three, there was a time when German books were not divided into rights and lefts. The answer is true. Number four, the scholar who knows everything exists. The answer is false. Number five, show forgets people 5 minutes after meeting them. The answer is true. Dear learners, now one sentence answers related questions and answers. Question number one: what is show's opinion on routine? The answer is show thinks routines are supposed to work for everyone, but they don't actually suit anyone. Question number two: why were English people in Germany surprised? The answer is they were surprised because Germans didn't have books divided into lefts and rights. Question number three: why is Da Vinci's notebook called funny? The answer is because people during his time didn't take his ideas seriously. Question number four: why does Shaw call himself educated? The answer is because he can make a living using his education. Question number five: why didn't the governess teach Shaw advanced topics? The answer is because she didn't understand them herself. Dear learners, now two or three sentence answers related questions and answers. Question number one: why is the early part of schooling the hardest? The answer is Shaw says learning to read, write and do math is the hardest because we achieve this without even remembering being taught. It's a significant accomplishment. Question number two: how can a crammer predict exam questions? The answer is a crammer studies all exam papers to find patterns in the questions that are often repeated by examiners. Question number three: why might students feel their education is incomplete after exams? The answer is because they haven't learned important life skills like eating, drinking or sleeping, which aren't taught in school. Question number four: who is a savage or ignoramus according to Shaw? The answer is Shaw calls himself these names because he wasn't taught about great artists, making him feel culturally uneducated. Question number five: why does Shaw think he hasn't grown up? The answer is Shaw thinks he hasn't grown up because he is still learning new things and facing new challenges in life. Dear learners, now brief answers related questions and answers. So question number one: why go to a crammer? Why go to a crammer to do well in exams? The answer is Shaw suggests going to a crammer because they help students prepare for exams by predicting which questions are likely to be asked. Question number two: why did school feel like a punishment to Shaw? The answer is Shaw felt school was like a punishment because he loved literature and art but didn't enjoy the textbooks which he found boring. Question number three: how does Shaw argue that routines don't suit everyone? The answer is Shaw believes routines can't meet individual needs because everyone is unique, just like German boards that were not divided into left and right. Question number four: why is it risky to give modern answers in exams? The answer is because examiners often have outdated knowledge and might not accept new ideas, making it risky to give modern answers. Dear learners, now detailed answers related questions and answers. Question number one: which of Shaw's views do you agree with and why? The answer is I agree with Shaw's because his views make sense. Many people find school frustrating and believe routines don't work for everyone. Shaw's idea that basic skills are useful but school routines don't help us grow is relatable. His criticism of old-fashioned teachers and boring textbooks also resonates with many students. Question number two: How can school education be improved? The answer is our education system focuses too much on memorization, which does not provide real knowledge. We should focus on practical education that meets real life needs, as show suggests. By making education more relevant to students' lives, we can improve its quality. Dear learners, so that was Live and Learning by George Barna Show, a timeless reminder that education doesn't end in the classroom. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Life Mentor Academy Best Notes for more smart and simple explanations of your English and alternative English chapters. Keep learning, keep growing, because life itself is the greatest teacher. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day. All the best.